live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. Ceasefire now. Louder. Ceasefire now. Louder. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Not in my name. Stop weapons now. Stop weapons now. Stop weapons now. Stop weapons now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Ceasefire now. Not in my name.
Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Not in our name! Not in our name! Not in our name! Why is this Passover different from all other Passovers? Why is this Passover different from all other Passover? Today marks 200 days exactly of the Israeli government has been carrying out a genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. Funded and armed by the United States government. The Israeli government has killed over 34,000 Palestinians, including over 14,000 children. And that is just who has been counted. That is before the hundreds of thousands with diseases that could have been cured but will not be, because Israel has destroyed Gaza's healthcare system. That is before the thousands trapped beneath the rubble. That is before the over 1 million Palestinians in Gaza who are being starved. Not who are starving, who are being starved. Outside of Gaza, thousands of Palestinians are languishing in Israeli prisons without charge or trial. Settlers, many from New York, are carrying out horrific pogroms across the West Bank. Many are receiving tax cuts from our state, New York State. Just yesterday, workers uncovered another mass grave of over 300 Palestinians under a medical complex in Han Yunis. Many with their hands tied behind their backs. A few days ago, Israel bombed 11 children on a playground. They are killing entire families. Right now, as we speak, Israel is intensifying its attacks. Right now, they are recruiting new reserves, heavy artillery in preparation for the next phase of this genocide. The Israeli military is gearing up for a new invasion of Gaza, starting from the north and heading to Rafah, where more than 1.5 million people are taking shelter. This would be a bloodbath. But it does not have to be this way. The U.S. could stop this in the blink of an eye. The U.S. could withhold weapons. The U.S. could stop funding Israel. Instead, today, the Senate is preparing to vote to authorize an additional $14 billion for Israel. $14 billion to continue the genocide they are carrying out in Gaza. With our tax dollars. In our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not on our dime. Not on our dime. Let Gaza live. Free Palestine. Free Palestine. And that is why we are here in our thousands holding our Seder on this holiday of Pesach, the holiday of liberation, at the doorstep of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Senator Schumer, you may have seen, recently gave a speech criticizing Israel's far-right extremist Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for him to now support sending a multi-billion-dollar military slush fund is a reward for Netanyahu. It's a reward for his warmongering regime. History will remember Chuck Schumer and anyone who supports this legislation as a cheerleader for genocide. Senator Schumer, your Jewish constituents and the vast majority of the U.S. demands stop arming Israel. 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 Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Stop funding genocide. 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 Stop arming Israel. Stop arming Israel. Stop arming Israel. Stop arming Israel. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let American Jews, let's be very clear. We will not be used.
No!
And we will not be silent.
No!
And we will not be complicit.
No!
We know that Judaism is a beautiful 1,000-year-old rich tradition. And that Israel is a 76-year-old settler colonial apartheid state that is destroying millions of Palestinian lives with our tax dollars and in our name. Shame! Shame! We know this is not a religious conflict. We know this is a colonial one. We know that Israel is turning Judaism into a weapon for colonization. And we say no. And we learn our history. And we were horrified to learn that in 1948, Zionist militias on the first and second nights of Passover carried out an operation to expel over 70,000 Palestinians from their homes in Haifa. They called that operation Operation Cleaning Out the Chametz. Shame! Shame! We know that violence against Palestinians from both Israeli soldiers and settlers escalates on every single Jewish holiday. We know this. During this past Hanukkah, we saw Israeli soldiers put up a 42-foot menorah in Gaza to terrify Palestinians. We will not be used. We will not be silent. We will not be complicit. We will not be used. We will not be silent. We will not be complicit. And so this Passover, this one, not the next one, this one is when we take the mandate of this holiday of liberation very seriously. This Passover now is when we reclaim our beautiful tradition from the death cult of Zionism. Not in our name. Not in our name. Not in our name. Because this Passover, we as American Jews join with millions around the world who are rising up for an immediate and permanent ceasefire and for a free Palestine and nothing less. Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Free Palestine! Because this Passover, not next, this one right here, we look Zionism squarely in the face. We cannot uproot this violence. We cannot get through this Mitzrayim, this narrow place, if we don't uproot the racist ideology that upholds and justifies all of this violence, and it has a name, Zionism. This is the Passover that we take our exodus from Zionism. Not in our name. Not in our name. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live. Not in our name. Free Palestine. And we know that there have been Jews who always rejected Zionism, just like there have been Jews who rejected every single supremacist ideology on earth. We are so proud to come from our radical ancestors, many of whom are feminists and queer and trans people. We are proud to come from Jews who have infused our holidays with the revolutionary spirit of joint struggle and collective liberation. This year is the 55th anniversary of the first Freedom Seder. Held in 1969, a year after Dr. King was assassinated. Rabbi Arthur Waskow held a Freedom Seder in Washington, D.C. It was multiracial, it was interfaith, it was protesting anti-black violence and the Vietnam War. Rabbi Waskow is now 90 years old, and he has sent his blessing over this Seder in the street to stop arming Israel today. Rabbi Waskow has given us these words, I quote, "Jews have remembered one night of Kristallnacht as the atrocious beginning of what became the Nazi genocide. Yet the state we call Jewish has imposed 6 months of Kristallnacht to destroy the community of Gaza." Waskow writes, "The train to Auschwitz does not start or stop in one instant. It must gather speed, unless it is stopped before it gets there. Just so with the train to Rafah." We are here to stop it. 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 On behalf of Jewish Voice for Peace and Jews for Racial Economic Justice, and if not now, we want to welcome you here, whoever you are, however you are arriving. We in particular want to welcome our Palestinian siblings. We love you, we grieve with you, and we are honored to struggle alongside you. We know that everyone relates to Passover differently. This will not be a Seder as usual. These are not usual times. This will be a Seder where we take the story and we enact it. We let it call us to action. So if this Seder feels different from how you would like to observe Passover, let's make a pact. Let's make a pact that we're going to prioritize the urgency of Palestinian lives and survival over everything else. We want to let you know that we have a robust safety team that's here. We are so grateful for them. In case of a safety issue, know that we have people prepared to support and respond. We have a police liaison. Claire, raise your hand. Where's Claire? We know you're here. Okay. Nobody do it. Nobody else do it. Just Claire. We have a press point person and specific press spokespeople. Jay, where are you? Great. We know you're here too. So please don't speak to the cops or the press. Okay. Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! I am really honored to bring up our first speaker, my friend, our dear, dear, beloved rabbi of JVP, Jay Fredge, if not now, our rabbis for Ceasefire. Please join me in giving a warm welcome for Rabbi Miriam Grossman.
For generations, in Seders around the world, Jewish people have lifted up matzah and sung the words halach ma'anya. This is the bread of affliction, of poverty. After which we sing kol dichven yiteh v'yechol, let all who are hungry come and eat. And for centuries, people observed this practice, not just by singing it, but by opening their doors and shouting into the streets, let all who are hungry come. And the doors would open and people would feed each other. What could possibly be further from this sacred tradition than intentionally starving an entire population by purposefully cutting off food and water? What could possibly be further? It is impossible to imagine anything further from this tradition than starving people for over 6 months of every age, to the point that people are forced to make bread from animal feed, and even that is running out. Shame. Shame. Halach Ma'anya comes before we tell the sacred Exodus story. So for those of us who are Jewish, to me, this means that before we can tell the story of our ancestors who ate the bread of affliction, the bread of the hungry, before we can do that, we have to stop and in real time ask who is being made hungry right now. Not in metaphor, not in the past, right now, today, real bodies and real lives. And right now, the Israeli government is starving 2 million people in Gaza. That is how we observe that mitzvah, by calling that out. We are witnessing the destruction and indiscriminate mass bombing of family homes, whole apartment blocks, hospitals, universities, schools, playgrounds. This genocidal campaign is being carried out every day with bombs and tanks and shells and guns paid for by us with our own tax dollars. Shame. We know that this year, Passover is different than all other Passovers because of what the Israeli government and military are doing in our name. This year, we will not just open our doors and say, let all who are hungry come and eat. This year, we opened our doors and we walked out into the streets. This year, we say, let all who are heartbroken, all who are enraged, all who say not in our name, all who say not with our taxes, all who say never again for anyone, all who say we will see the humanity in every single child and every single adult. Let all of us come and fight together to stop the genocide, to stop the mass bombing, to stop the man-made famine, the dispossession, and ethnic cleansing today. In a moment, we'll move to Kiddush, the blessing over the wine for the first cup. Kiddush means sanctification. And so we're first going to sanctify this space by praying. First, we pray for the people of Gaza. May God bless every child and adult who is facing unimaginable horror and genocide day and night. We pray for every person besieged. And we pray for every person in Gaza right now who is facing starvation and mass bombardment. That includes over 2 million Palestinian people, children, adults, infants, as well as international aid workers and Israeli hostages. We pray for every person in Gaza and for every person in the West Bank and for every Palestinian living under Israeli apartheid who is struggling to survive Israeli military and settler violence, who is doing this even often as they mourn the death of loved ones and continue to witness atrocity. For all these people, may God shelter you with protection. May you know you are not forgotten. For every person, we pray for every person standing up for Palestinian freedom and for the liberation of all people. Whether you are doing that for the first time here this night, or whether you have been taking action for years, we know that for Palestinians living under Israeli apartheid, doing that means facing brutal state violence, being held often in detention without charge, indefinitely. And for Palestinians here in this country, and for so many people of color here, we know this can mean also discrimination and doxing and repression. For Jewish people, it can mean losing family and community. And we see these risks. We see the risks so many here tonight are taking, and we honor them. And we know nothing compares to the people in Gaza who are risking everything just to survive in the face of genocide and to show the world what is happening. We pray for the strength to keep fighting. We pray to hold ourselves and each other through this time. We pray to keep going so far beyond a ceasefire. Together we bless the source of life, and we'll bless the first cup. If you know the words, you can join me. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen. Amen. Next year in freedom, next year in liberation. Amen.
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Not in our name!
Not in our name!
Not on our dime!
Not on our dime!
We're going to invite a few of the folks who are standing here. If anyone's comfortable and able to sit, that will be great so that more people can see this beautiful Seder plate in the middle. So we're going to invite, if folks want to sit, are able to, that will be great. If you aren't, all good. Is that the announcement? Okay. Next up to give us the blessing over the karpas, of the salt water, the bitter herbs. I'm really, really honored to bring up Naomi Klein, the one and only Naomi Klein.
Hi everyone. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri ha'adamah. I was just asked by a journalist why it is that so many people are not spending Passover with their families. We know the answer to that question. We already heard, because there is a genocide and this Passover is not like other Passovers. But there's something else, which is we are with our family. We are. This is our movement family. And I want to thank you for being my family during these interminable months. I could never have done it without you, without all of your strength. I have now swallowed the parsley. My friends, I've been thinking about Moses and his rage when he came down from the mount to find the Israelites worshiping a golden calf. The ecofeminist in me has always been uneasy about this story. What kind of God is jealous of animals? What kind of God wants to hoard all the sacredness of the earth for himself? But there is, of course, a less literal way of understanding this story. It is a lesson about false idols, about the human tendency to worship the profane and shiny, to look to the small and material rather than the large and transcendent. What I want to say to you this evening at this revolutionary and historic Seder in the streets is that too many of our people are worshiping a false idol once again. They are enraptured by it, they are drunk on it, they are profaned by it, and that false idol is called Zionism. It is a false idol that takes our most profound biblical stories of justice and emancipation from slavery, the story of Passover itself, and turns them into brutalist weapons of colonial land theft, roadmaps for ethnic cleansing and genocide. It is a false idol that has taken the transcendent idea of the promised land, a metaphor for human liberation that has traveled across faiths to every corner of this globe, and dared to turn it into a deed of sale for a militarist ethno-state. Political Zionism's version of liberation is itself profane. From the start, it required the mass expulsion of Palestinians from their homes and ancestral lands in the Nakba. From the start, it has been at war with collective dreams of liberation. At a Seder, it is worth remembering that this includes the dreams of liberation and self-determination of the Egyptian people. This false idol of Zionism has long equated Israeli safety with Egyptian dictatorship and unfreedom and client state. From the start, it has produced an ugly kind of freedom that saw Palestinian children not as human beings, but as demographic threats. Much as the Pharaoh in the book of Exodus feared the growing population of Israelites and thus ordered the death of their sons. And as we know, Moses was saved from that by being put in a basket and adopted by an Egyptian woman. Zionism has brought us to our present moment of cataclysm, and it is time that we say clearly, it has always been leading us here. It is a false idol that has led far too many of our own people down a deeply immoral path that now has them justifying the shredding of core commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet. The commandments brought down from the mount. It is a false idol that equates Jewish freedom with cluster bombs that kill and maim Palestinian children. Zionism is a false idol that has betrayed every Jewish value, including the value that we place on questioning a practice embedded in the Seder itself with its 4 questions asked by the youngest child. It also betrays the love that we have as a people for text and for education. Today, this false idol dares to justify the bombing of every single university in Gaza, the destruction of countless schools, of archives, of printing presses, the killing of hundreds of academics, scholars, journalists, poets, essayists. This is what Palestinians call scholasticide, the killing of the infrastructure and the means of education. Meanwhile, in this city, the universities call the NYPD and barricade themselves against the grave threat posed by their own students, asking them, students embodying the spirit of the Seder, asking the most basic question, asking questions like, how can you claim to believe in anything at all, least of all us, while you enable, invest in, and collaborate with this genocide? The false idol of Zionism has been allowed to grow unchecked for far too long. So tonight we say, it ends here. Our Judaism cannot be contained by an ethno-state, for our Judaism is internationalist by its very nature. Our Judaism cannot be protected by the rampaging military of that ethno-state, for all that military does is sow sorrow and reap hatred, including hatred against us as Jews. Our Judaism is not threatened by people raising their voices in solidarity with Palestine across lines of race, ethnicity, physical ability, gender identity, and generations. Our Judaism is one of those voices and knows that in this chorus lies both our safety and our collective liberation. Our Judaism is the Passover, is the Judaism of the Passover Seder, the gathering in ceremony to share food and wine with loved ones and strangers alike. This ritual, light enough to carry on our backs, in need of nothing but one another, even we don't need walls, we need no temple, no rabbi, and there is a role for everyone, including, especially, the smallest child. The Seder is portable, a diaspora technology, if ever there was one. It is made to hold our collective grieving, our contemplation, our questioning, our remembering, and our reviving and rekindling of the revolutionary spirit. So tonight, so look around. This here is our Judaism. As waters rise and forests burn and nothing is certain, we pray at the altar of solidarity and mutual aid, no matter the cost. We don't need or want the false idol of Zionism. We want freedom from the project that commits genocide in our name. We want freedom from the ideology that has no plan for peace except for deals with murderous theocratic petrostates next door while selling the technologies of robo-assassinations to the world. We seek to liberate Judaism from an ethno-state that wants Jews to be perennially afraid, that wants our children afraid, that wants us to believe that the world is against us so that we go running to its fortress, or at least keep sending the weapons and the donations. That is the false idol. And it's not just Netanyahu. It's the world he made and the world that made him. It's Zionism. What are we? We, in these streets for months and months, we are the Exodus from Zionism. So, to the Chuck Schumers of this world, we do not say, let our people go. We say, we have already gone, and your kids, they're with us now.
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Next up, we are so honored to be joined by the Resistance Revival Chorus. Please join us in welcoming them.
Someone get in front of me. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. You know this. Sing this with us. Ain't gonna let racism turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let racism turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I ain't gonna let no APAC turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let no APAC turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I ain't gonna let no violence turn me around. Oh, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna
keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I ain't gonna let this genocide turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let this genocide turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom land. I ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep going, keep on talking, keep walking, keep on walking, keep on talking, keep on walking, keep on talking. We're united, not divided. For the young ones, for the elders, we keep fighting, keep marching, keep going. Keep on talking, keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up to freedom. We are the Resistance Survival Chorus! Bless y'all.
Let's get some more love for Resistance Revival Chorus! Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Not in our name!
Not in our name!
Not on our dime!
Not on our dime!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Next up, I am so honored to bring up a dear friend, beloved sibling in this struggle, who we are so honored to struggle alongside, Izzy Mustafa from the Adala Justice Project. Please join me in giving Izzy a warm welcome.
Wow. Thank you, everyone. It's been a while. I used to walk these streets, march these streets around my community here. For the past 3 years, I've actually been in Palestine. I've recently come back. I've been there for the first 4 months of the genocide. And every day since October 7th has been nothing short of a Twilight Zone nightmare, in which every day I'm wondering if I'm gonna wake up and everything will be different. For 201 days, I've been in my apartment in the West Bank, hearing the roars of the F-16s flying above me, heading towards Gaza. F-16s that I know that as an American citizen, my tax money is going to. For 201 days, the photos that I used to see on my Instagram of my former colleagues and friends from Gaza, the celebratory photos and the photos of their children, the congratulations, have all turned into condolences, fundraisers, and just making sure that when I see a post on Telegram saying that a bombing hit an area of a family that I know is staying in, I take a deep breath and pray to God that the people that I've made a relation with are safe. For 201 days, I've had friends. Within the 201 days, I still have friends who are buried underneath the rubble. During my time in the West Bank, the 4 months after October 7th, there was a paralyzing sense of uncertainty. Raids coming in and out, sometimes 3 days a week, of Israelis taking friends, families, neighbors. The fear of just posting about Gaza on social media for the fear of when you cross a checkpoint, are you going to be pulled out and told to show the Israeli soldiers your phone? For 201 days, I would see you all escalating your tactics, trying to gather the attention of the highest office, of Mr. Chuck Schumer over here. Shame. I would sit there and I would wonder, what would I tell my community if I come back? And here I am in front of you all. I had things written down, but there's so much to say. And what can you say 201 days later? But I'm going to derive some inspiration from one of my dearest friends, who for the first 4 months of the genocide, he went into the streets every day, trying to get people to shake out of their paralysis, out of their fear. He said, yalla, 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 we have to get to the streets, we have to do this for Gaza. We have to do this for Gaza because we know that we are also next. We have to do this for Gaza because they are us and we are them. He knew the risks. He knew the risks. Every day we would go on Telegram. Another active young Palestinian arrested for organizing. A Palestinian arrested for saying free Gaza on Facebook. He knew this, but he continued and he tried to shake us all out of our paralysis. 4 months later, 1 week after I left, I get the news. My friend Omar has been arrested, has been taken by the Israelis. Now, right now the prison system is the worst it's ever been. We're talking 20 people in one jail cell, 3 plates of food for them all to ration for each other. Shame. Torture. The photos of those who are coming out right now, they don't resemble the same people they were with before they went to prison. So now I think about Omar. And what would Omar tell me in this moment? Omar would tell me, okay, finally, you're speaking. You're in front of your community. You're where you're supposed to be. So tell them what needs to be done. So I'm going to tell you all. We all have a role to play. All of us, each and every one of us. Some of us came later to this. Okay, I forgive you. I forgive you. But we must stop this genocide. We must stop the funding of weapons to Israel. We must get our communities to divest from Israeli bonds. We must get our communities to divest from weapons manufacturers. We must get our communities to divest from the racial violence, not only in Palestine, but here in the United States. Because if you ask any Palestinian about how Palestine will get free, it'll be when the consciousness of the American people and the Westerners realize that they are encaged and that liberation must also come through here. The reason why those up top are so afraid of Palestinians is because we have no fear and we remain consistent and we remain committed to our liberation. And all of our ancestors and the legacy before me and before my father and my grandfather and grandmother and everyone behind me always reminded each other of one thing. Our liberation is bound to each other, no matter where you are, right? So when we say, let Gaza live, we're also saying, let the Congo live. Let Sudan live. Let the people of Brooklyn, New York, the communities that are being gentrified here, let them live. We all have a role to play to dismantle the systems of oppression, regardless if it's patriarchy, racism, capitalism, and Zionism. I'm proud to be standing in front of you all today because something needs to be clear. We're gonna get free, all of us, but we need you all to stay on board with us through this. We are at a very hard time. The repression is gonna be more, where there's gonna be more tactics that try to divide us, more tactics that try to entrap us. But we need each other more now than ever. So you either stay on the train with us Palestinians towards liberation, or you can't sit with us. So I'm gonna close, because I think, there's an incredible line of amazing speakers. But I have something to say to Chuck Schumer, to Joe Biden, to all of the haters out there listening. From every river, every single river, to every single sea, this collective times 1,000,000 will build the pathway for all of us to be free. And inshallah, there will be next year in liberation.
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Schumer, talk is cheap!
Schumer, talk is cheap!
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
Schumer, talk is cheap!
Schumer, talk is cheap!
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
Schumer, you can't hide!
Schumer, you can't hide!
You're supporting genocide!
You're supporting genocide!
Schumer, you can't hide!
Schumer, you can't hide!
You are funding genocide!
You are funding genocide!
Schumer, you will see!
Schumer, you will see!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Schumer, you will say!
Schumer, you will say!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
Next up, I am really honored to bring up another beloved rabbi in our community who stands for the liberation of all people, including Palestinian people. Please join me in welcoming Esther Azar. Please join me in welcoming Rabbi Esther.
In the Syrian tradition, we embody our Arab and our Jewish ancestry during the Seder. Syrian Jews lived immersed in our Arab culture. We lived in community with our Muslim and Christian neighbors for hundreds of years. And this is reflected in our Seder. Normally, we break the middle matzah. But today, we stand in our brokenness, in Gaza, in the rubble, and in our fractured parts. And so the matzah here is already shattered. We are going to take all of our fractured parts and venture on a journey towards liberation, using biblical Hebrew, Arabic, and English. In Arabic, I will ask you, where are you coming from? Where does the oppression lie? Where is our Mitzrayim? Where are the narrow places? Where are we stuck in oppression? Where are we going? What is the vision of our future? I will ask you, what are the tools for liberation? We stand here broken. Our siblings in Gaza are dying under the weight of today's Paro, Pharaoh. We stand here today as living, breathing embodiments of Pesach. The rabbis teach that the word Pesach can be broken down into two words, Peh and Sach, mouth and speak. In times of trauma, we lose our voices. But as we heal, we can begin to name the harm. Today we stand here, Pesach, naming the harm. This is the path to liberation. We are the Pesach. This is the moment where we are calling out for a new world, crying for a new reality, demanding a world of justice. With this matzah, we break the bonds of domination, break the bonds of imperialism, break the bonds of occupation, break the bonds of genocide, and break the bonds of Zionism. I'm going to take the matzah. I could use some help. Thank you. Hold this up. Thanks. Well, I'm going to take the matzah and I'm going to make a satchel. This is what we do at our Seder. We take the middle matzah and we make a satchel and we put it around ourselves and we ask these questions. Now I want you to see yourselves taking your brokenness in its satchel and placing it over your opposite shoulder, and we are going to travel the journey, going to circle our shoulders as we answer the questions. I invite you to call out the answers. I will read the pasuk in Hebrew, and then that tells the Israelites' journey, and then I will say the Arabic words. משארותם סרורות בסמלותם על שכמם ובני ישראל עשו כדבר משה. These words are that the Israelites took their matzah and their maror and they went on the journey out of Exodus. And so I invite you to take your satchel and put it around you like this. Min jayeh. Where are you coming from? Where is the narrow places? Please call out the oppression for me.
War!
Genocide, Zionism, war, capitalism, prisons, sexism, white supremacy, colonialism, classism, racism, ableism, all the isms.
Isms and schisms.
Lefen Rayich, where are you going to? Call out the vision for the future that you imagine. Where are we going? What are we trying to get to? Where are we going to be? Liberation! Freedom! Solidarity! Peace! Joy! Kindness! Community. Ishuzawatak, what are we taking with us? What are the tools that are going to get us there? How are we going to liberate? Empathy, solidarity, rights, staying in the streets, protest, Resistance. Collective mindset. Mindset, that's good too. Collective mindset. And as I encircle this package that I'm going to invite you to do with me, because I want us to make a full circle so that we have a completion in this moment, so that every prayer that we just spoke into this moment should be so. So here we go, everybody grab your satchel and swing it around your head and say, may it be so. May it be so. Chag Sameach. Chag Sameach.
Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Next up, I am so honored to bring up our sister in struggle who keeps us all fortified, who we have so much deep respect and admiration for. Please join me in welcoming Linda Sarsour from Empower Change.
Good evening, everyone. I am so deeply honored and humbled to see you all here today. And I want you to know that we were out here over 6 months ago. And I promise you that there were many people who did not believe that you would be outside today. They thought that we would move on after the second and the third and the fourth week, and then came the third and fourth and fifth and sixth month, and we are still here. And we will still be here until not only we end the genocide against the Palestinian people of Gaza, but we put the people of Palestine on a path to freedom and liberation. I haven't been outside as much as I usually am, because for the first time in my organizing career, I've had to learn how to organize and grieve at the same time. It is not easy for Palestinian American organizers to get up every day and organize through the bloodshed of our people, through the devaluing of the human and sacred life of Palestinians. And so I salute every single human being that has continued to go outside and demand justice and an end to the atrocities that are being committed by the state of Israel, funded by the United States government. This weekend, including today, I have spent so much time with some of the most incredible human beings that you could ever meet in your lives. And they are college students on campuses across this country. I often say to people in the movement that we must stay committed to freedom and liberation even if we do not see them in our lifetime. Oftentimes, we may not see the fruits of our labor. But I hope that our elders, our Jewish elders who are here, people like Dadi and Raz and Esther and Sarah, I hope that you see the fruits of your labor in those Jewish students at Columbia, at New York University, at the New School. You have raised a new generation, a fearless generation, one that is committed to a Judaism that is rooted in freedom for all people. A Judaism that sees the liberation of Jewish people bound up with the liberation of not only Palestinians, but people all over the world. You did good, my friends, and I hope that you sit here proud of the rebellious young anti-Zionist Jews taking risk in the long-standing tradition of fearless Jewish activists and organizers. The Seders get bigger. The Jewish-led actions get bigger. They get more fearless. And what we want those in power to know is that we will stay outside. We will not be divided. Because what the opposition thought they would accomplish is to pin us up against one another. They have not succeeded in the last 7 months, and I promise you that they will never succeed. And for all of our friends, Jews and non-Jews alike, that have sat on the sidelines, I still welcome you here. You are still welcome here. The doors are still open to you. There is always the right time to come to the movement for freedom. And I know that some have tried to silence folks and intimidate folks, and some might not have the courage to be here today, but I promise you that they are watching, and we want them to know that at the next Seder, at the next Jewish action, at the next rally for freedom for Palestinians, you are welcome. And it is never too late to come to the movement for freedom. This work is not easy. The fight for justice is not easy. Because if it was, everybody would be doing it. If it was easy, we would probably have justice by now. So when it is hard, when it is dark, when it is difficult, you are in the right place. And it is in those moments of discomfort that I know that Palestine and the freedom of Palestinians is closer than it has ever been before. There is no way that I will ever believe that the massacre of 40,000 Palestinians is in vain. The sacrifices of those martyrs are our fuel to say and keep going towards never again. We said never again before, but we are still here. And I want to remind us that we continue to say, end the genocide, but the genocide has already ensued. The genocide already happened. What continues to happen is more genocide. So don't give up. Don't give up, and don't give up on those that you love. I know that many of you are struggling with people that you love who still double down on what is happening in Gaza right now. Don't give up. One day, they will realize that they need to be here with us on the right side of history. There are some in your community, and I will name one here. I look forward to the day, and it is very near if it's not already here, that people like Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL will be in the dustbins of history. I am so proud that one day we will look back, and generations to come of Jews and Muslims and Christians and people of no faith will look back and say, those were my ancestors. And as our dear brother and poet Amir Suleiman said, we will be the ancestors, so we must act accordingly. Stay steadfast, my friends. Stay consistent. Stay focused. And keep your eyes on Gaza. They will distract you with the headlines. They will show you political theatrics by theocratic regimes to take you away from why we are here. And it is to build a future where Palestinian children do not just survive, but they thrive. And I look forward to staying on this journey for all of you. I love you, I salute you, and thank you for being light in the darkness. I hope you have a beloved Passover.
We love you, Linda. We love you, Linda. Stop arming Israel. Stop arming Israel. Stop funding genocide. Stop funding genocide. Stop arming Israel. Stop funding genocide.
Sorry, thanks. I just want to see. I can't see.
As our voice gets louder and our movement stronger, we will take the streets shouting peace, peace, peace. Wollt ihr gehört, Koyer? Wollt ihr gelaufen in die Gassen? Wollt ihr geschrien, Scholem, 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 oh Scholem. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yaba bye bye bye, yada dai 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 dai, dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yaba bye bye bye, yada dai 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 yo, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yaba bye bye my, yaba my my dai dai, yaba my my dai dai, yada dai 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 bye bye bye. As our voice gets louder and our movement stronger, let's go down through the street shouting peace, peace, peace. Yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai ya bye bye ya bye bye bye, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai 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 dai, yada dai dai ya bye bye ya bye bye bye, yada dai 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 dai, yada bye bye ya yada bye bye dai ya dai bye ya bye bye bye, yada bye 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 bye, yada bye bye ya yada bye bye ya bye bye. Wir laufen in die Gassen, wollt ihr geschrien, Scholem, oh Scholem, 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 oh Scholem, 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 oh Scholem, Scholem, ceasefire now. Static, static, static.
Let's hear it for these musicians! Stop arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! Stop funding genocide! Stop funding genocide! Stop arming Israel! Stop funding Israel! Stop funding genocide! Stop funding genocide! We know this is long, and that's how you know it's a real Seder! For all those who call us fake Jews, listen up! Next up, we are so honored to have Simone Zimmerman here on behalf of Jay French, and if not now, join me in welcoming Simone.
Oh my God, this is so beautiful from up here. Ma nishtana halayla hazeh mikol halaylot. Why is this night different from all other nights? What about this night is not different from all other nights? Among the core rituals of Passover is asking questions. If you're arriving tonight with questions or ambivalence, I'm here with you. Tonight I have so many more than 4 questions, but I'm going to read them really quickly. What does it mean to celebrate a holiday about liberation in a moment in which Palestinian lives and freedom are under their most grave assault since the Nakba of 1948? What does it mean to recall the biblical exodus from Egypt as families are furiously fundraising to escape into Egypt and our tax dollars are funding those bombs they are so desperate to escape? What does it mean to hold up symbols of life and renewal when we are witnessing and complicit in so much death and destruction? What does it mean to ask questions in public in a moment in which the right to critical learning, to academic freedom, to protest are under such grave assault across this country by the establishment and the fascists alike? What does it mean to proudly and unequivocally fight anti-Semitism and declare our commitment to the safety and well-being and thriving of all Jewish people, including Jewish Israelis, as the loudest and most powerful voices laying claim to that commitment, seems so resolute in tying the project of Jewish safety directly to Zionism, directly to this ethno-nationalist project that is carrying out a genocide? What does it mean to observe a holiday about family and community when so many of us are estranged from our families and communities? What does it mean to recount these stories as we know that so many in our community tonight will use these very same rituals to tune out, even to justify the harrowing stories coming out of Gaza right now, the uncovering of mass graves, to tune out the starvation, the prisons, the torture, the occupation, the apartheid, the settler terror, and to tune it all out in the name of their own recentering of a self-righteous victimhood. I don't pretend to have any answers here tonight. I do know that because you're all here, I can observe the Passover Seder. And I'm certain that in our action together, we're getting closer to those answers and to finding genuine liberation for all people. Not in our name. Not in our name. Let Gaza live. Let Gaza live.
Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop
unrelenting solidarity with the people of Gaza. We are honored right now to be joined by students from Barnard and Columbia. Please join us in welcoming Leah.
Thank you everyone for having us. We're all from JVP at Columbia and Barnard. We've been invited here today to raise the second cup, and we're here to do that in solidarity with and in honor of the people of Palestine. As proud members of the Jewish student movement for a free Palestine, we're focused on uplifting and centering the voices and lived experiences of those in Gaza right now, despite headlines that distract from and diminish the cause that we're all here for. The media focuses on the experiences of Jewish students and campus politics as they continue to render Palestinian lives invisible. We will not stand for this. This movement extends far beyond the militarized gates of Columbia, beyond the city of New York, to the students of Gaza whose classrooms have been burned to the ground. As Jewish students, we know what scholasticide and cultural genocide looks like. And as students, as Jews, and as human beings, we must do everything in our power to end it. It is Passover, Pesach, a holiday of learning, reading, storytelling, a holiday of liberation. Like our Jewish faith, the Passover tradition is centered around questioning. We are taught to think critically and to seek truth. As students in the movement, we recognize that our education is a privilege and a right that has been stolen from our peers in Gaza. There are no universities left in Gaza. We are the Jewish future, and we say, stop arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! The students are rising up, and we demand that our universities disclose, divest, and we will not stop until they do. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest, we will not stop, we will not rest. Disclose, divest. Do you want us to do the blessings? Okay, are you ready? Divest. Okay. We will not rest, but we will rest to do the blessing on the wine. Okay, are you ready? Yes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
Let's hear it for these incredible organizers! We love you! We love you! Bless the student organizers! Bless them! Bless them! We will follow you! Stop arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! Let Gaza live! Let Gaza live! Stop arming Israel! Eva Borgwarth representing If Not Now. Please join me welcoming Eva.
For Maror, the bitter herbs. I want to talk about why the U.S. has not only not pushed for a ceasefire, but is sending the largest ever military funding package to Israel in history during a genocide. There are plenty of actors to name. Weapons contractors, Christian Zionists, the same U.S. imperial foreign policy that got us into the war in Iraq. But for the bitter herbs tonight, I want to talk about AIPAC. Whose entire reason for existence is to ensure U.S. unconditional support for Israel no matter what it does. The only reason that we have not already kicked them out of our politics for being a far-right, warmongering lobby funded by extremist billionaires is that they rely on the lie that unconditional funding for Israel is how to keep Jews safe. Not in our name! Not in our name! It's never been clearer that that's a lie. That money isn't about freeing the hostages. It's enabling escalation into a broader regional war, endangering Palestinians, Israelis, and millions of people across the region. This money for weapons and every vote for it is not about anything but slaughter! And a historic number of politicians are seeing that. A historic number are saying, we cannot send this money anymore. This is the beginning of the end for U.S. unconditional support for Israel, and AIPAC can't stand it! AIPAC has vowed to destroy every single politician who calls for a ceasefire. They're spending $100 million this year to try to ensure that even opposing a genocide is unacceptable in American politics. But you don't spend $100 million if your ideas are popular. You don't spend $100 million if you're on the side of basic human values like equality, like justice, like basic human life. And you wouldn't spend $100 million if you weren't absolutely terrified that you were on the losing side of a massive historical shift for Palestinian freedom and dignity. The American public is clearer than ever that our safety is tied together, and we're saying to AIPAC, how dare you say otherwise? Y'all, we've kicked these far-right lobbies out before with fossil fuels and the NRA and said, if your interest is death, then you are not allowed in our politics, and we can do it again! Not in our name! Not in our name! Not with our money! Not with our money! I'm gonna say the blessing. Oh, yeah, thanks. And think about AIPAC with this mouthful of horseradish. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshani b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al achilat maror. AIPAC has got to go! AIPAC has got to go!
Schumer, Schumer, talk is cheap!
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 You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
Schumer, Schumer, talk is cheap!
Schumer, Schumer, talk is cheap!
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
You're sending bombs, how can you sleep?
Next up, I am so honored to bring up our dear friend and sibling in JVP, New York City, Maya Edery, to lift the third cup.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maya Edery, and I'm here from the JVP Mizrahi Caucus. So I'm here to do a blessing for the holiday Mimuna, which is the Moroccan Jewish holiday at the end of Passover. My family was in Morocco for thousands of years, celebrating Mimuna side by side with their Muslim neighbors. They would take the flour and all the foods we don't eat during Passover, give it to their neighbors, and on Mimuna, their Muslim neighbors would return it back to their home to share a joint feast of sweets and mufleta side by side. So, as a Moroccan Jew, my family is intimately familiar with Israel's racism. You may know the history, or you may not, but Israel sprayed recently arrived Mizrahi immigrants with DDT, leading to cancer, kidnapped about 1 in 8 Yemenite babies from families that were arriving. So we know intimately that Zionism is white supremacy. As Mizrahi Jews, we also know what it means to resist and reject Zionism. There's a long history of Moroccan and other Mizrahi Jews rejecting Zionism and organizing against Zionism and white supremacy. From the Iraqi Communist Party, the Moroccan Communist Party, the Mizrahi Black Panthers. Yeah, okay, we know our history, love to see it. They famously had a liberation Haggadah calling out Israel's racism, and infamously, Golda Meir called the Mizrahi Black Panthers not nice. So I'm here with the JVP Mizrahi Caucus promising that until Palestine is free, we too will be not nice.
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop arming Israel!
Stop funding genocide!
Stop funding genocide!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Let Gaza live!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free, free, 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 free Palestine!
Next up, and as our final speaker, I am so honored to bring up somebody who I respect and admire so much, who is one of our beloved leaders of this movement, the director of Jewish Voice for Peace, Stephanie Fox.
I came right here from JFK Airport. I flew in from Seattle, who is also having a Seder in the streets right now, outside Senator Patty Murray's office. It is, along with, in this next week, 17 places across the country, and it is so deeply meaningful to me to be with you all here today, celebrating Passover in the only way that makes sense in my heart and my soul. My part in the Seder is to bless us a cup of water from Miriam. And as I think about what words I want to say to you, I honestly, it's hard to find. I feel overcome these days, and I think anybody who's human probably does right now, right? I count the minutes in how many Palestinian children have been slaughtered, 1 every 10 minutes. I am full of rage seeing hospitals turn to mass graves. I feel a kind of bitterness in my soul that I've never experienced in my lifetime. And so I guess that it makes sense that I'm here to raise up and to extend forward for us the lineage of Miriam, whose very name means bitterness. And I want to invite us to think about Miriam, who was central in the story of the Israelites getting free, of the Exodus from Mitzrayim. She, though her leadership was rooted in bitterness, it's understood that her leadership was so strong that it manifested alongside them a well of fresh water on their journey to freedom. And so I want to say to you, and to your broken heart from mine, and to your rage, and to your bitterness, and to your pain, you don't have to shove it aside to be here. You can lead from it. We can lead from it. Because in the very same place and in the exact same way that we feel our rage and our bitterness is where we feel our hope. We feel our bitterness because we understand that the world doesn't have to be this way. We feel our bitterness because we understand that the world won't be this way, that we have an obligation to make it not this way. We feel our bitterness because we understand that another world is possible. And our bitterness and our hope become one when we join together in action. That's where it happens. We transmute our bitterness into a fresh well, a wellspring of hope and commitment. Through action, through showing up in our brokenness and our questions and our pain and saying, it doesn't matter, we act. So now we find ourselves in the most narrow place I've ever felt in my lifetime. We are 201 days and 76 years into Israel's occupation and apartheid and now genocide of Palestinians. Our own government is defending and arming and in any minute sending billions more in a slush fund to the Israeli regime's genocidal war machine. Shame! And the Israeli and U.S. government dare to use our sacred community, our Jewish identity, and the notion of our safety to justify it. How dare they? How dare they? So what is the way out? What would Miriam tell us about how to bring our hope and our despair in action? We've been talking about it and thinking about it for decades as a movement following Palestinian leadership, and honestly, it's not that complicated. We must divest from Israel, and we must invest in the movements for collective liberation, and particularly in the struggle for Palestinian freedom. Divest from Israel, say it with me. We must divest from Israel and invest in the movements for collective liberation. And invest in the movements for collective liberation. Those in power want us to believe that injustice is permanent, right? But we understand that oppression is built and sustained by people and institutions and with resources. And if they tell us the U.S.-Israel alliance is unshakable and must uphold apartheid and genocide forever, not if we shake it! So how do we do that? Our beautiful students are showing the way, demanding their institutions divest. Demanding their institutions divest from the warmongers who dare to profit off this genocide. Our cities and towns and states are demanding that our local governments divest from those same corporations that profit from the Israel bonds that sustain the Israeli government's genocide. Together, we're here talking to Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden saying, stop arming Israel, stop funding genocide. We demand that the billions of dollars every year and the many more billions on the verge of being sent right now end finally. And as Jews, I want to take a minute, because we're at our Seder here beautifully tonight, to say that we also have an obligation to make it clear and to demand that our identities cannot be co-opted in the service of this ethno-supremacist genocide and occupation and apartheid. We will not allow it. And I want to ask you, just by a simple show of hands, do you have an Israel bond? Maybe? No shame, literally no shame, it's actually important. Many of you have Israel bonds, probably. Maybe you received it at a bat mitzvah or a wedding or a Hanukkah gift. Maybe it was given to you by a beloved relative. I want you to take a minute to just sit with your grief and your bitterness and your pain, that there are ways in which our communities are made complicit and wound up in this oppression that we did not choose, but now we know, and so we get to act. We get to turn that bitterness or that pain or that confusion into action. So those of you with those Israel bonds, join us in our pledge to divest. You're gonna divest those Israel bonds. That's right. And you're going to invest that in Palestinian freedom struggle, aren't you? So we all take action from where we are. We hold our rage in one hand and our commitment and our vision of justice in the other. You know, Miriam, before they fled Mitzrayim on their way to freedom, was the one to ensure that the Israelites grabbed their instruments so that when the seas parted, they danced and they sang. You don't grab the instruments if you don't intend to get free. And when that sea parted, it is said that every body of water around the world parted too. Together, grab your instruments, grab your determination. We're on our way.
Stop arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! Stop funding genocide! Stop funding genocide! Stop arming Israel! Stop arming Israel! Stop funding genocide! Stop funding genocide! Now, right now! Right now, as we close this Seder, we close it in the way that we need to, by taking even more action. Our work is not done until Palestine is free. So right now, many people who are prepared to risk arrest are moving into the street because they are going to block this street. Because we are at Senator Chuck Schumer's doorstep, and we will not give him a moment of rest. We will not give him a moment of rest. Schumer, you can't hide. Schumer, you can't hide. You're supporting genocide. Schumer, you can't hide. Schumer, you can't hide. You're supporting genocide. Schumer, talk is cheap. Schumer, talk is cheap. You're sending bombs, how can you sleep? You're sending bombs, how can you sleep? Schumer, talk is
to live.